trying to get an understanding of what different people are going through and different people's points of views. And that's the one thing, about being an educator is, you deal with so many different forms of life.
A conversation is one of the ways we get to know and understand each other. When faced with division, it's one of the ways to uplift unity. We brought two strangers together for a conversation based around 6 questions that get to the heart of who they are, what they're passionate about, and what they hope for. This is Uplift Unity.
My name is D'Angelo Bryant. I'm born and raised in Aiken, South Carolina. Really grew up in New Ellerton, South Carolina, a little small town that kind of meets into 3 communities. I am currently the head football coach as well as an educator at Silver Bluff High School, and just really great to return home and be a Bulldog again.
Hi, my name is Laura Marshock, and I am from Mexico City. I'm 50 years old, and I've been in Augusta, Georgia for 10 years.
So Laura, what's your story?
My story is that I was born in Mexico City, and I came to the States to study English, and I ended up earning scholarship to the University of Georgia and studying at Georgia and meeting my husband, marrying him, and staying in the States. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There you go.
And you?
Like I said, I was born and raised here. I got an opportunity to earn a scholarship to play football at Wake Forest University. So that was a dream come true for me. Got an opportunity to play, had a lot of accolades there. And then I immediately got into coaching and education, which was something that I knew I wanted to do. And my journey has just been absolutely ever since. I started my coaching career down in Charleston at James Island Charter High School. Spent most of my career at White Knoll High School right there in Lexington, so about 45 minutes from here. And then I had a great opportunity to return home to my alma mater and be the next head football coach. So it's kind of been a dream come true. And along that way, I did meet my wife, who also attended the same high school I did as well.
Is there a moment in your past that had a significant impact in shaping who you are today?
Oh, absolutely. I think to define one moment would be a disservice to anybody that's hearing my story. But I will tell you, when I was in the 8th grade, my mom actually took me off the basketball team. And that was a very defining moment for me because I was an extremely popular guy in school, and sports was my thing. And to not have that and have that taken away was big. Now that I'm an adult, and even then, I really realized a lot of things, and especially now being a parent, having to make those tough decisions. I know that wasn't something easy for her to be able to do, but I'm glad that she did it because it was a very defining moment for me. Just thinking that I needed to bring more to the table than just being an athlete, and it made me focus on education 10 times more. And now being a parent and being on the other side of that, now I had an opportunity to experience what it's like to, kind of drop that hammer a little bit being a parent. So that's kind of been, a defining moment. And what would you say that defining moment is for you?
A defining moment for me was when at the age of 14 I came to the States and I didn't speak English. And I found myself in a new culture with new people, trying to understand what they were saying to me and me shaking my head yes, and then trying to read their facial expressions. Most of the time I should have said no. But it was, it was a very defining moment for me. It has shaped me into who I am today.
How difficult was it for you to make friends, when you first got here? I could only imagine, that had to be a little testy at times.
Yeah, I was a very shy child because I grew up in a Catholic boarding school, so I was very sheltered. And very much like the military, you grow up wearing the same clothes, so there's no distinction of who is higher or lower or what have you, or different. And so coming to a country and the culture which was so different for me, yeah, it was very, very challenging at times, and also shocking. Shocking. I still feel culture shock sometimes. What's happening in the media right now still is tremendously culture shocking for me.
Is there something you've dreamed of doing for a long time? If so, why haven't you done it yet?
There was something that I had been dreaming of doing, and now I'm doing it. And so if I could say I'm living the dream, I am. I started cycling about 8 months ago, and I'm loving it, and it's fantastic. And all I can tell you is that it's the great equalizer, because for athletes, it doesn't matter what level you are. When you're on a bike, we're all the same. And it's just up to you whether you succeed or fail. And it's all in the effort that you put into it. And I like to believe that it has transformed me. How about you?
Well, I think I'm gonna stay along those lines as well. And mine has been trying to be the best golf player. I'm not gonna even mention anything about trying to be anything professional. But I've really taken a liking to golf. And one of the things you struggle with being a former athlete is still you still have that competitive edge. And so now you figure out really fast that, you know, you can't do the same things that you did at 25. And so things hit you really fast. So you try to figure out what are some of those next best things. So, you know, I've kind of gone through the whole flag football, the you know, playing softball, you know, all the way down to doing CrossFit and all those other different things. And now I've found that golf has been a whole lot more relaxing on the body, but it challenges me still in so many different ways. So I'm far from being where I want to be, but a really good dream of mine is just to be able to start small and go out there and just be able to play a good round of golf and to score at least decently, where I don't have to, when people ask me, I'll just be, oh, I didn't shoot that well. You know, I can actually give them a legitimate score.
If you ask for a miracle, what would it be and why?
Oh man, you know, being a coach, I think I probably ask for a miracle just about every time, you know, I'm watching a game or I'm coaching a game. But my miracle, I believe, would be to be, if I could have a clone or 2 or 3, to be at so many different places, because there's so many different things in my life that I'm extremely passionate about. You know, for me, I wear that on my sleeve a whole lot. And so if it was one thing that I could, you know, ask for a miracle, is to have a clone to be able to just assist others and just to be there and to carry out my purpose in life. And I think I've kind of found what that niche is and stuff like that. So,
Oh, wonderful.
So what about you?
You know, I would ask for 2 more, because 1 is just not enough. But I would, in this moment of strife and confusion and political angst, I really would like to find reconciliation. I would like for people to understand one another, to have compassion for one another, and to begin to heal, because I think that's what's happening right now. People are hurting, and they need healing. We've done enough talking, we've done a lot of action, but we need to heal. And that only comes from compassion and reconciliation and acknowledgement that I hear you, I see you, I feel you. How can we move together to the next, whatever the next is?
I think that's a piece that a lot of us are honestly missing, is the compassion for one another, and just trying to get an understanding of what different people are going through and different people's points of views. And that's the one thing, you know, about being an educator is, you know, you deal with so many different forms of life and so many different points of views, and it teaches you really, really fast. And I think that happens on just about in every career that you have. It's just depending on, you know, the type of person you are. Are you open and are you receptive to, you know, to understanding, you know, your fellow man, and so I truly admire what you just stated.
when you think about all the important issues facing our country, is there one of particular importance to you? If so, why, and why would you like to see done about it?
For me, and I think it just largely do with the field that I'm in. I think education is something that truly needs to be addressed, and I feel like there's a lot of times right now where from an economic standpoint, education is really being taken advantage of in a lot of different ways, and I think it's affecting people's statuses and lack thereof. I think that there just needs to be a lot more attention that goes into that, whether it's with educators' pay. I think improving school environments. I really think that education for me personally would be something that I would like to see at the top of the list in some form or fashion.
I'm behind you 100% because part of the reason why I came to this country was for an education so that I would learn English, which is very valued in many other countries. But I also think that we need to do a better job in our health care system, because very much like education and the legal system and many other systems in the country, they need reform. Because that money means access, and whether it's justice or the healthcare system or education, without it, then you don't have access to it, or at least not as well as others, or opportunity as well as others. But healthcare, especially in today's society, access to care and education, health education is so important. Conversations are not happening between fathers and sons and mothers and daughters about health issues. And we're not sitting around the dinner table like once we did, where we would sit down every night and say, oh, what is this? Or tell me about this, or why did our uncle die, or why did grandpa die? So we are not sharing those stories, and what's happening is we're losing our history, or oral history, because we're not talking to each other. So yeah, I if I had one thing that I could change right now in this particular historical moment, is access to care and healthcare, improvement in healthcare.
What is the most surprising thing that someone has ever done for you?
There have been so many. I've been so fortunate in my life. I don't have enough time to tell you, and I wish I could, because I have a wonderful husband, I have a wonderful supportive family, I have great friends, but I would have to say, if there was something that was very surprising, I've been married 25 years, and thank you, this is my 25th wedding anniversary. And my husband continues to surprise me every day. And I don't think surprises have to be grandiose. I think surprises can be in the most mundane, minute details that someone does. And you say, oh, you remember that? That's fantastic. Or you know that I like that. So how about you? Do you have a particular surprise that comes to mind?
I guess I would probably say I'm not really big on surprises. I probably tend to mess up surprises when people probably try to do things for me. I'm an extremely humble person, and I would probably say my wife has been my absolute joy. She spends a lot of time trying to make sure that I am surprised, that everything is done in a very special way for me, whether it's from her, whether it's from the kids. It's extremely important for her, and I think largely it's because of the way, when her and I met, we talked about so many things that our parents didn't get an opportunity to do for us. So it makes it, knowing that about her, it makes me want to do a whole lot more for her, but in return, it makes her wants to do the same for me. So I'm just very humble and very blessed, and a very blessed man to have a wife, a spouse, a partner like her, because to me, I'm so overwhelmed by the things that she's able to give to me. And it's not just on holidays, but just on any given day. So she's always thinking about me. I felt like I learned a lot. If it's one thing, when you mentioned earlier in your conversation about, about you working with cancer and different things like that, immediately, I found a relationship within that same. And I lost my mother to cancer, to breast cancer, back in 2016. And so since then, or even before then, I've been a true advocate for cancer in many different forms and many different ways. So it's just so amazing. Sometimes when you can just take some of the smallest thing that somebody is so passionate about in their life, and you figure out, I have a relationship just by that particular saying or by that particular word that really sparked an interest with me. And I wish we could do more of that with each other, with our fellow man, and being able to have an opportunity to just sit and just listen and try to find ways where, we have a relationship versus trying to find more ways not to have a relationship.
Common ground, absolutely common ground. I attended a seminar a while back called Crucial Conversations, and it's a class that you take in order to have a conversation that is uncomfortable, that you might not be ready to have with someone, because as human beings, when we don't have enough information about another person, we fill in the blanks. And so the way this training begins is the story that I tell myself. And so a lot of the times we look at a person and we tell ourselves a story. I could tell that you were athletic. I could tell that you were a father. You carry that very well. But I didn't know that you went to Wake Forest. And that, to me, what a testament to you. Congratulations. Education in my family is something that is very highly, highly valued. But that being said, I learned so much from you, and I am so glad to have had this chance. And I hope that we stayed in touch and contact, because, like I said, I love to get to know more about you and your family. But what stood out to me is how well you spoke about your wife. Not many men do that, and that to me is a testament of the kind of man that you are. It's important because, again, we need to know where the other person is coming from, and so that we don't fill in the blanks for them, or that we make wrongful assumptions about someone simply because of the color of your skin or my accent. I've been here 36 years and I can't get rid of it. I've tried. But people make assumptions on that every day. And I just wish that we wouldn't be so judgmental of one another, and that instead that we would be more compassionate and try to understand each other's stories simply by having a cup of coffee. In many countries it's called 3 cups of tea, because after 3 cups of tea you know more of each other. But I would just wish that we would have more opportunities to sit down and not be so ready to be offended or ready to be on the defensive, but more open and open-minded. It happens to me every day. I'm sure it happens to you as well. My pain is not different than yours is pain. And I just wish we could have conversations again for reconciliation and healing. That's why I think it's important that we sit down around the table and talk to one another.
And I'm a kind of tug on the train a little bit, because I think it kind of segues into I think any time that you can create any kind of dialogue between one another, I think you're educating each other as well. And being able to create that dialogue between one another gives everybody a platform, or to talk about, to stand on, or just to have any type of knowledge. And I think that's one of the unique things about being a human. And I think that's probably one of the simplest, most undervalued thing that we as humans don't take advantage of, is that is any time that you're having a conversation with whoever it may be, you are having an opportunity to get educated on something different and something out of the norm. And, obviously, the more that you can do that, the more that you expand on your knowledge, and then it creates, more relationships with other people, because you're able to, get into any type of a setting and to be able to have those things. So I certainly, once again, I admire everything you're saying about being compassionate and just caring for the fellow person, and just having respect for, everybody's culture, beliefs, and all those other different things. So, it's always great to have conversations.
We hope you enjoyed that conversation and it inspires you to have your own. Don't forget to subscribe for more of Upliff Unity. Visit our shop at upliff.com to get your Upliff merch. And if you'd like to be on Upliff Unity, sign up at upliff.com. Thanks for watching.